So, do you guys remember Raze? For anyone who doesn't know, Raze is a 2D platformer shooter developed by Juice Tin and Addison R on March 3rd, 2008 and published on March 5th, 2010. This Flash game was basically the knockoff 2D version of Halo, but it was executed so damn perfectly that it felt like its own standalone game. For those of you that haven't played, to sum it up, the story follows an unnamed protagonist, in other words, a highly skilled soldier belonging in the group of Raze, which is initially put into a training program to develop his skills and eventually defend the Earth from aliens. After enough training, he is then assigned to Captain Simmons' team. The team protects various facilities from threats until a pivotal change in the plot happens, which causes Captain Simmons' team to help defend Sweet Johnson. Once successfully defended, he reveals that his squad, which is coincidentally called Grove Street, very original, is dead, and he's the only remaining survivor. With that, he joins Captain Simmons' squad. The aliens then figure out how to reanimate corpses, turning them into zombies. Yada yada, they kill them, infiltrate an alien spaceship, which the aliens contaminate with the zombies' virus, infecting every member of Captain Simmons' crew except our protagonist, which is now tasked with killing every member of his own crew. After this tragic loss, and with the aliens' army being minimal, we finally face off against the commander of the alien force in a 1v1. The fate of the human race is now in our hands. It's what we've all been waiting for. After 15 challenging levels, we're here, and it's go time. Let's see what the alien can do. And yeah, pretty anticlimactic. But hey, we won, so I'm not complaining. After beating the human campaign, you get to play from the aliens' perspective. The missions follow almost the exact same game modes and maps from the human campaign, just with a different incentive in place and with an increased difficulty. And Jesus Christ, is this difficulty spike huge. I'm not even going to talk about how unfair level 27 is, because that level is just pure RNG. The last mission, however, changes this process as you end up facing against a cyborg zombie version of Sergeant Sweet Johnson after the result of the virus that contaminated Captain Simmons' crew, which is absolutely badass. Anyway, so you face off against Sergeant Johnson and win relatively easily for a final boss once again, especially with the hell that is level 27. Which kinda sucks, cause I really wanted him to be some sort of OP final boss as a type of joke, but no well. The ending is a twist on the human campaign, with it being that the aliens manage to take control of Earth and in turn eradicate all humans. This isn't the canon ending since there's a Raze 2 and Raze 3, but it's a cool side story and it gives a bit more gameplay to those seeking an extra challenge in the game. So, they're both pretty solid campaigns. Certainly not revolutionary by any means, but the story isn't where the game shines. It shines through its gameplay. Throughout both campaigns, you're able to pick up different weapons off the ground, as you can see in the gameplay shown. These consist of standard human weapons, such as shotguns, snipers, and rocket launchers, to alien types of weapons like zap guns, rail guns, and chain guns. These weapons help add a variety of different gameplay options, as well as add a little hint of fun RNG to the game based on where and which weapons will spawn. All these weapons feel polished and satisfying to use, and throughout my whole playtime, there wasn't a moment in which I felt as if I wasn't holding a gun. On top of that, most maps are smartly designed, some featuring different set spawn locations for power-ups, such as an invincibility power-up or a double damage boost. The platforming on most maps is well made as well, as every map follows the formula of being able to go from one side of the map to the other, helping flank enemies and find more action in the case of free-for-all modes. This brings me to my next point of the game's quick match option. Due to the game being a new project for both developers, they opted to keep things simple to see if the game would take off. Things such as upgrades, interactive environments, and most importantly online multiplayer were planned for the game, however were ideally going to be implemented in the sequel, which didn't end up happening. Regardless, the game's quick play option allowed the player to battle up to 9 different AI opponents in a selection of 6 different maps and with different difficulties, damage multipliers, objectives, and specific choices of weapons. Oh, and ego mode, which, yeah, I guess makes getting headshots easier. But anyway, this quick match option gave players the ability to practice and further enjoy what the game had to offer, as well as allow players to show their own custom character out, which, although having limited options, is still a nice touch. Last but not least is the goddamn music, man, which is possibly the most unforgettable aspect of the game. Artists such as Waterflame, Father of Death, and Coleman Trapp have their songs included in the game. Now, these songs add so much thrill and adrenaline into the game, and for many were the introduction to the genre of music that the game incorporates. The music, which then was used to further enhance the action-packed gameplay, now, to me, invokes feelings of nostalgia, because I remember when I used to grind the game as a kid, which I guess shows you the extent of the impact that the music had, at least on me, and how it stuck with me years after playing the game. Juice Tin, one of the developers of Raze, has released a remaster of one of his other highly regarded titles, Strikeforce Heroes, on Steam, whilst Addison R is possibly pursuing other art and animation projects. I couldn't really find much info on him. However, this action has helped spark a light of hope in the Raze community, as people are now starting to believe that Raze could be seeing a remaster at some point in the future as well. And although the fate of the Raze series does remain unknown, I mean, the most recent installment, Raze 3, came out in 2018, it still holds a valuable and memorable place in all its players' hearts, as for many it was an introduction to the potential that Flash games hold, as well as an engaging experience for those that didn't have high-end PCs or consoles at the time, like me. So, at least from my experience, I remember playing this when I only had a family computer to play games on, and that was a long time ago. But I do remember that this was by far my favorite game. And who knows, maybe I'm speaking for myself, but Raze truly does hold a special place in my childhood. Thank you for all the awesome memories, Raze.